Thanks for listening to Middle Aged and Mediocre. I'm Cash.
I'm Joel.
And we are a podcast about all things strange and unusual, death and UFOs, and other creepy,
Cults,
weird, random
ghosts.
stories. There you go.
Yeah. Not just naming things in the room.
Oh my god.
There's a cult of ghosts.
Welcome to Middle Aged Mediocre. I'm Cash, joined as always by jolly old St. Joel.
Ha!
Just in time for Christmas.
That's a Christmas reference.
It's a Christmas reference. What's up, buddy?
Ho, ho, ho!
I don't know why, but I kind of thought you would show up today in a Santa outfit.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just
You
had
want
it
it.
in my head like he's going to walk in, bag full of gifts.
I do that Christmas Eve for the
You do.
kiddos,
And
yeah.
then you do the
And I
Humpty
just
dance.
go to people's house. I've been known to do that,
Yeah,
too. Yeah,
I had it on video for a while.
Uh-huh.
Still do, probably. It's impressive seeing a Santa do the entire Humpty dance
Yeah.
song. Like, lyric, word for word.
Flawless.
Flawlessly. It is flawless. I will give you that.
Thank you.
It is flawless.
Thank you.
It's entertaining. If you do it again this year, we'll have to get it on video again. Throw it on
Sure.
the old TikTok.
I mean, I can do it.
We have a TikTok back
Nothing's stopping me.
on
TikTok?
It's like middle-aged. It's either middle-aged and mediocre or middle-aged mediocre.
Uh-huh.
But we're on there, so you can find us.
Here's a fun story. I tried to download TikTok
Yeah.
and my phone doesn't have the space. So I just stopped trying.
You know, you're better off. I hate that I have it back on my phone now.
Yeah.
Because I constantly keep getting notifications like, there's new videos. And it's just
Cool.
like, I don't know any of these people.
There's always new videos.
Yeah, there's always. That's never ending.
That's what you
That's
are.
the
You're
problem.
a video thing.
That's the problem with
Of
TikTok.
course there's new videos.
But
And
it
then when there's
is
not new videos.
It is almost Christmas.
We're close.
Christmas time
8 days?
is near.
8 days.
A few.
Yep. 8.
More than 3.
8!
Okay.
It's
Eight,
next Sunday.
8 crazy nights. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're right.
Yeah!
8.
Man, I'm on a roll.
8.5 if you include the rest of today.
Yep.
But what do you do? Anything special for Christmas? Any Christmas plans?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. Same here, really. Maybe we will record next week.
Sure.
I just figured you were like,
I got nothing.
I figured you had things to do.
Well, Saturday's Christmas Eve. I mean, I'll get Lily for a little bit at some point, but that's later on.
Okay.
I'll dress as Santa, and
Well, Sunday I got nothing,
yeah.
and Monday I'm off.
I'll have Lily a little bit Sunday.
So
Monday I'm off, but I get Lily.
okay, we'll figure something out.
Yeah, this could probably happen off air.
Good, but it's not. It's happening on air. People get to hear us plan. So for today's episode, we have last week we talked about the stabbings in Moscow, Idaho.
Week before last. Last week we had Triceratops.
Yeah, you're right. Week before last. Hey, this could happen off air. You corrected me. Yeah. Last week we interviewed Triceratops. Go check that out. Week before that, we did a little bit of an update. Just kind of discussed what we knew so far. We're gonna start this episode by going back over that case. There's some more information. I figured we get a little bit more in depth into it. It is currently the investigation is currently still happening.
It's been, what, a month? 2 months?
It happened November 13th, so yeah, it's been over a month.
Yeah, over a month. Okay.
So we'll do that, and then I got 5.
You got 5 on it?
I got 5 on it.
Cool.
Pretty
I got 0.
ridiculous unsolved crimes
All right.
to go along with this unsolved. Currently
See how many I
unsolved
can
case.
solve?
We'll see if you can solve all 5.
Put me to the
Yeah, I
test.
do. Yeah, well, I want to get your theory
Okay.
on what you think happened.
You're going to get it.
Okay. All right. You're the opposite of salt and pepper. I'm always gonna get it.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing for that.
That's in vogue, isn't it?
Is that in vogue?
Yeah.
I don't know.
See, of course you got nothing for that. You deserve nothing for that.
All right, let's edit that out.
Never gonna get it. Never gonna get
let's cut
it.
that out.
Never gonna get it. Never gonna get it. Whoop, 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 whoop.
We don't cut anything out here.
No, that's so much
You
work.
get all of our fuck ups. But okay, so let's get into the current. It's a fucked up thing that happened. Moscow, Idaho.
in America.
Not Moscow, Idaho, Russia.
Yeah.
This is the American Idaho.
To clarify.
This happened November 13th, 2022, where 4 University of Idaho students were stabbed to death in their off-campus 3-story rented home. 5 So the house, 5 female students live in it, share it together. It's they live, in the college town of Moscow, Idaho. About 25,000 people live there. They had not had a murder in Moscow, Idaho since 2015. Like, it's pretty rare there for this kind of stuff to happen. There was a sixth person listed on the lease at the time of the murder, but they were no longer there. It's, again, a 3-story house. Had 6 bedrooms. Pretty big house.
Spacious.
It's kind of the party house.
Yeah.
It was known as the party house.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
So in the middle of the early on the 13th, 3 female victims. Madison Maddie Mogan. She's age 21. She was born in May 2001. Can you believe people are being born in the 2000s? How insane is that? We are all so old. She was born in May 2001 in Eugene, Oregon. Kaylee Goncalves. She's 21, born in Concord, California. Her and Maddie met in middle school when they both moved to this area.
Yeah.
They met in middle school, became like inseparable. Third victim, Xana Kernodle. She's 20, born and raised in Post Falls, Idaho, which is right there, local. She was in the same sorority as Maddie, worked with her part-time at a Greek restaurant. They all lived together in the house with 2 other roommates, Bethany and Dylan. And then Xana's boyfriend, Ethan, he's 20 years old.
Could you imagine having that many roommates?
That's a lot of roommates. That's a lot of people to live with.
Yeah, and all their friends. And
just everybody coming in and going.
I don't care how big the house is.
Yeah. Ethan's born in Conway, Washington. He's a triplet, has a brother and sister that he's very close with. Again, he was dating Xana. And the night of the attacks, he was sleeping over there with her. He stayed there a lot. The 2 other female roommates, Dylan and Bethany, they also lived at the house. They slept through the attacks and weren't injured. So originally, when we first kind of talked about this, I had some suspicions about them.
Yeah.
Just because, like, how the fuck
how do you sleep through that?
The more I've kind of, like, read about it, I don't really have, like, I don't think they have any involvement whatsoever.
I heard something, too, where they didn't think they were dead when they first found them. They thought they were just, like, passed out.
The first person they found they was passed out.
Yeah.
Which, when we kind of get into some of the details, is going to be a little... I don't know how they thought that.
Yeah.
But...
Seemed like there'd be some blood.
So, the house sits on a hill, it's at 1122 King Road in Moscow, Idaho. 3-story house sits on a hill. The front door goes into the first floor, from the street. And then on the back of the house, which is, like, up on the hill... there's a sliding glass door that goes into the back of the house, and it takes you right on the second floor. So the way the house is set up is like you got your first floor, and it's like looks like half of the house.
Yeah.
Then there's the hill, and then you got the whole back second and third story. Bethany and Dylan's bedrooms are on the first floor. Xana and Ethan were sleeping in Xana's room on the second floor, and then Maddie and Kayla were sleeping on the third floor. There's a picture that's been posted when this first happened. This picture was like all over the place. It shows all of the roommates and Ethan like standing together. Then the 2 surviving roommates are on the ends with their faces blurred, which is kind of eerie how like those 2 are on the ends.
Yeah.
And they, and then the ones in the middle are the ones that are the victims. So the night of the murders, Ethan and Xana were at a fraternity party, only like 2 minutes away from the house. They got to the party around 8 p.m. At around 10 p.m., Kaylee and Maddie were picked up and taken to a local sports bar in downtown Moscow called the Corner Club. Bethany and Dylan returned home around 1 a.m. after both being out like separately from everybody and each other. And then Ethan and Xana returned home around 1:45 from the frat party. Kaylee and Maddie left the Corner Club around 1:30 a.m., and then they were seen on a Twitch live stream that, like, apparently there's a food truck.
Yeah, vendor food.
Like, that regularly live streams, like, the comings and goings of the... That's whatever. I'm sure people watch it.
Parents probably watch and see if they see their kids.
Yeah. But so you see Maddie and Kaylee on this live stream ordering food from the food truck. In the background of the live stream is a guy wearing like a jacket and a gray hoodie and a hat. He's acting kind of odd. but I don't know if like I don't know if this didn't happen and you watch the same video, if you would even bother with the way he's, but with context of what happened, basically anything anybody's doing.
What's he doing back there? Just kind of real shifty
he's just kind
or
of
something?
Like, just kind of he's just like letting people go in front of him. Like he's not there to order food.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And when you first see Kaylee and Maddie walk into the picture, he's like right there behind them. And then when they go to get the food truck, he like backs away and just kind of stands and stares at them. And then like again, just like kind of lets people in front of him.
So if they talked, surely they found that dude. Hopefully. And
well, so on the video, you see him talking to like a beard, like a dude with a beard. The bearded
guys are the worst.
Can't trust the beards. The bearded guy was eventually questioned about that guy, about the conversation. He said the guy seemed nice.
We talked about beards.
You know, didn't seem like anything weird. But not too long after getting their food, Maddie and Kaylee get into an Uber, and you see the guy with the beard kind of point their direction while he's talking to the other guy. And he says that he told the cops that he told the guy, because I think he thought they were like, he was with them the way.
Oh, yeah.
He kind of said like, hey, your friends are leaving. And I guess that guy like turns and looks and says, what the fuck? And then like takes off. He just like, leaves. So during the course of the 10 minutes.
So he thought that guy was actually with the two girls.
Apparently, because I think, you know, cause they all kind of walk up together.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if that guy says something to the bearded guy to make him think he's with them.
Yeah.
But so they're all on the live stream for about 10 minutes. Not once do like any of them acknowledge each other.
Yeah.
Like if you watch it, the girls just are completely oblivious to this guy.
They don't even look back and like do the head nod.
Like I don't think they know this guy like is anywhere near. Like he clearly isn't with them.
Yeah.
But the police have talked to that guy, and he's been ruled out as a suspect. So he may just be like, you know,
wrong place.
Women be dealing with some shit.
Yeah.
So he's just some fucking dude.
I guess it's not against the law to look.
He's just probably some drunk dude that thought he had it, you know.
Yeah.
These two girls.
You guys just been standing back there looking at the menu too, or something, you know, letting people in front of them.
I mean, all of these girls are like they're all very attractive, like you know, 20-ish something college girls in a college town, drinking at like a. So I'm sure they get plenty of like annoying fucking guys.
Yeah.
But Maddie and Kaylee get back to the house around 1:55 a.m. Between 2:26 a.m. and 2:44 a.m., Kaylee calls her ex-boyfriend Jack like 6 times.
Yeah.
From 2:44 but he doesn't answer. From 2:44 a.m. to 2:52 a.m., Maddie then calls Jack 3 times. It's assumed that Maddie and Kaylee like were in the same bed together because they're like just, you know, like they're inseparable, like they're best friends. They have rooms across the hall from each other, but they're probably both in there just hanging out. And Maddie probably is like, well, let me see if he answers my call.
Yeah.
And then, so, you know, Kaylee may have been trying to call, she'd been drinking, maybe thinking like, hey, Miss Jack.
Yeah.
Or maybe Jack was a dick and her and Maddie were like going to like give him some shit.
Fighting, yeah.
For whatever reason, though.
Checking in on him.
He doesn't answer Maddie's calls either. So 2:52 a.m., Kaylee attempts to call him one last time. He doesn't answer again. And as far as tracking what everyone was doing that night goes, that's about the end of what we know.
Yeah.
So sometime between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. is when the murders take place. Could be a single killer, could be a pair of killers. I don't know. But it seems like...
I wonder if they know the order, if they can tell somehow. I don't even know how they would be able to tell that, though. Because it probably all happened within 20 minutes of each other. Yeah.
It seems like most likely they came in through the sliding glass door in the back of the house.
On the second floor. It's still street level, though.
No, it's up above the street level.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the first floor is on street level.
Okay.
And the second floor is up above. But they get in through the second floor of the house, and then so they start... I would say they start with Xana and Ethan. I would say they go right... Because they're on the second floor.
Uh-huh.
So I'm assuming they go there first and then go upstairs. But they could have went upstairs first, came back down, but you would assume they start...
Right where they are.
Yeah. The coroner stated that all the victims were likely asleep, at least when the murders began. At least one of the victims, I think there was at least 2, maybe 3 of the victims, had defensive wounds. The murder weapon was a large knife, most likely with a fixed blade, and there were no signs of any kind of sexual assault. Dylan and Bethany stated that they never heard anything at all. The next day, Dylan and Bethany woke up, like later in the morning. They found the 4 victims, like you said. At first, they thought they were just passed out.
Yeah. And it was like 11 or 12.
Yeah, it was
by
like
then, too.
Yeah, college kids. I sleep in on a Sunday.
I think there'd be a smell to them, even 9 hours in.
Something.
Between 3 and... But Idaho might be cold, too. So
one of the 2 girls fainted when they found them.
Yeah.
And then, like, instead of calling the police immediately, they called their friends first, like some of their friends. And some of the friends went ahead and come over. And then while the friends are there, like, they call the police.
That's weird.
It's a little bit weird. And then the police arrived shortly after they're called. So there's a picture. This is where I'm like, maybe only one floor has this because it's coming out the second floor. But there's a picture from the house where blood is just dripping out of the house and running down the side from the second floor. So, like, it had to be a bloodbath inside the house. So if they do find these bodies on the second, I'm assuming they find the second floor bodies first. And there's got to be enough blood in there that you don't think somebody's passed out.
And how does someone not track blood?
If it's that much blood.
If you're doing this to somebody, 4 people.
Yeah.
How are you not tracking blood?
Like at least a drop or 2.
There has to be a blood trail.
So, again, the investigation is still ongoing. Theories right now range from this being a targeted attack.
The one girl just got in trouble for, like, drugs.
The girl's mom.
Oh, the girl's mom, okay.
Xana. It also may be just
I know so little about it.
It may be a random attack.
Yeah.
There's been some...
random dude with a knife. But, like we said that last episode, too, it was just like that mayhem group. It could be something like that where it's just crazy motherfuckers just wanting to do crazy fucking things.
People decide they're going to kill somebody.
People suck.
Like you were saying, there's speculation that was done as a retaliation in relation to drug activity, as Xana's mother was arrested for drug trafficking, like within days. I can't remember if it was 2 days before or 2 days after, but it was like right there in that time frame. So, maybe she fucked up. And
it's just so personal with a knife.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's someone just that has done it before. I mean, just
to be able to, if it's one person, to be able to come in and kill 4 people.
And I don't understand how, if it's 2 or more, how they could get away without being seen.
Yeah, and if there's
like you would think
wounds,
one person could kind of come and go a little easier than more, but yeah, how does one person kill 4 people?
I mean,
the other people don't wake up and, like, the floor below.
So even if you start, I wish I knew which ones had defensive wounds.
Yeah.
Because if you start the second floor and say you kill both of them and there's no fighting back, no noise.
Yeah.
You get those 2. And then I guess you go to the third floor and maybe those 2 fight back. There's nobody on the second floor that can hear. And then the first floor, they probably can't hear anything up there.
Sure.
So, but like the retaliation thing sounds possible. Like you get maybe 2 or 3 guys.
Yeah.
They come in, they don't know who's who, so like they don't know which one's her daughter. So they're just like, we're fucking killing everybody.
But then why don't they go down to the first floor?
I have a theory about that. So, at first, law enforcement stated that there was a threat to the community, like everybody should be on guard.
Hell yeah!
But then, like almost immediately after they came back and were like, we're a little quick to speak. Right now, we do not consider there being a threat to the community.
Huh.
So, in the first few days following the murders, there were over 600 tips given to law enforcement, and the police conducted over 90 interviews. Who knows how many they've done at this point.
Yeah.
Currently, though, there are no suspects, no motives, no leads, and no evidence. Some of the family members of the victims have done interviews for various TV shows and news networks.
Just be a family member of something like that, too, and just no fucking answers.
They've all provided their own theories. They've shared a little bit of information they've been given by law enforcement, but like some of them have like shared theories that have like I think are going to fuck up the investigation a little bit, maybe point to the wrong people.
Yeah,
because like they're just dragging up anybody that they can think, which is what you're going to do.
Oh yeah, you want answers, and you start looking, and like you said, like once you look at things differently, knowing what happened,
you start to like any kind of odd behavior. You could like create. You could take something that happened that was innocent and twist it. Like we were talking about, it is weird that the two surviving roommates heard nothing, but there was a guy that was interviewed by Fox News. His name was Ryan. He used to live in that house, like before these people did. And he had a roommate, and he told them, which, who knows, and this could go, he could have worse hearing, so there's all kinds of factors in this. But he told Fox News that unless his roommate was, like, on the second or third floor playing, like, his television super loud, or, like, doing something, like, super fucking loud, he couldn't hear anything.
Yeah.
He's like, just the way it's built, you really can't hear.
I heard, too, the house had a key code entry.
It had a key code entry.
But a lot of people had it because it was a party house.
But
so still, whoever had it, I mean, someone, it can't just, I don't believe they're random.
I don't think it's random, yeah. Like, I think it's somebody that knows them.
Yeah, I think it's definitely someone that knows somebody.
Or, like, maybe...
Or someone they know set it up.
It might be, like, a random thing from random people that have been at one of the parties.
Yeah.
And then maybe they don't really know anybody.
Yeah, and they're like, well, this would be easy to come back and do fucking heinous things.
They did have a dog named Murphy, but Murphy was kept in a separate room at night, so he probably didn't ever even know there was anybody in the house. So he's still a good boy.
He's a good boy.
So here's where I kind of think... so based on the fact that Dylan and Bethany were on the first floor, and nothing happened to them, it's assumed that the killer or killers entered through the back door. There was a neighbor, though, that stated that the following morning around 8 a.m. he was out walking his dog, and that the front door was wide open. I don't know if
the first door. First floor.
The first floor.
Huh.
No sign of forced entry. At the back of the house is like a wooded area, which is, I assume, probably where the killer came from.
For that guy to... I feel like for that guy to... He probably walks that dog a lot around that time and would notice, he probably... I bet that did.
I mean, it probably was open, but that's just it's November.
Yeah.
I'm assuming in Idaho it's cold. This is like up near Washington. So I'm assuming it's pretty fucking cold.
I'm not a scientist,
but I mean, I keep my door open a lot, so.
Yeah. But not at night.
Not at night.
You psycho.
So originally I did. Last time we talked about this, I had some suspicions about the roommates. But I think, knowing now, so I'm pretty sure, like, if you think of a house, like, I think when people think of a house that has multiple stories, I think, generally assume, or maybe this is just me, that the bedrooms are in the upper floors.
Yeah.
So, I think if the killer or killers enter through they came through the wooded area, come through the back door, in their head, like, unless they know who lives there, they probably don't even know or think there's bedrooms on the first floor.
Yeah.
So they're just thinking second floor and top floor. So, I'm thinking, but then if the door's left wide open, I can't imagine you come in through the back from the wooded area, kill 4 people, and then just leave right out the front door and leave it open.
And I would think, too, if you broke in through the front door, you would shut it behind you.
Yeah. And if you break in through the front door, then, I don't know, maybe...
I would shut all doors.
Maybe the two girls were, like, maybe they drank a lot.
Yeah.
Or just heavy sleepers.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if the door being open has anything to do with this at all. It may have just been like they forgot to close the fucking door, wind blew it open, something,
Yeah.
But
it's just crazy they wouldn't. I mean, those girls are lucky.
Yeah.
That they didn't.
But I do think whoever it was, that's why I kind of think it was somebody that didn't really know them, because I do think they just. I mean, unless it was just those 4 people had pissed off somebody, to where they're like, well, the other 2 are cool, we don't have to do anything to them.
Yeah.
So I think maybe they just didn't even know there were 2 people in the first floor.
I hope we get some answers.
So, like we said, the house was a party house, often held large, these huge gatherings. It's not really crazy to think the neighborhood is, like, a safe one. Like, I mean, things just don't really, like, 2015's last murder. Before that, it was like, they don't happen all the time.
Yeah.
So there's a possibility they just kind of forgot to shut the door. But again, it might have just blown open. It also, with it being a party house, there may have been other people that were there that night. Mm-hmm. One of them leaves, they forget to, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Also, like, you wouldn't have to know these people or really be in the house to know what the house looks like, because all of them you posted videos a lot, like especially on TikTok.
Yeah.
Where if you watched enough of them, you get the layout of the house. Like they're
and you want to start TikToking?
I know. Actually, if you wanted to really know what this house, like if you were planning on killing these people, and you wanted to know what the layout was going to be, you could have just went online.
I was going to say most houses
and got the whole floor plan.
Yeah, from when they were sold or whatever.
So,
just realty.
So far, the police have cleared Bethany and Dylan. They've cleared the odd guy that shows up in the food truck live stream.
And Dylan's a girl?
Dylan's a girl.
Okay.
They've cleared the driver that took Maddie and Kaylee home that night. They've cleared the ex-boyfriend, Jack. The guy that his name was on the lease, or an individual, I don't know if it's a guy or a girl, but the person that was on the lease before, they cleared them because they had moved out before the school year had even started, like somewhere else. They just haven't been taken off the leash yet. There was a person that was possibly stalking Kaylee, and that guy has been cleared. And then the friends who came over when Dylan and Bethany called them that morning, all of them have been cleared. Doesn't mean anything yet.
Yeah, I mean, if
cops release people all the time.
If you did this shit, you're gonna lie about it.
Yeah. So some weird things though that happened in this area, or just kind of related to this. 2 weeks before these murders, back in October, an Australian shepherd dog had been found in Moscow, skinned from head to toe.
No.
And whoever did that, they don't know who did that yet. But that's some fucking psychopath behavior.
What the fuck?
That's serial killer behavior.
You need a knife to do that.
Yeah, I mean, and then in 1999, two college students at Washington State University, which is just, right there, they're stabbed in their sleep. Both
99?
99. Both of them survived, but the attacker was never caught. They don't know who did it.
Yeah.
In August of 2021, in Salem, Oregon, which is still relatively close.
What year was that again? I'm sorry.
2021.
Okay. I was doing the math from 99 to now, and just trying to think of the person if they were the same age as that because they say the first time that they do attack, sometimes it's not always.
Well, they're younger. They don't. Yeah.
I've just seen a lot of Dexter too.
I mean,
he might be 18, 19 then, and then another 20-some years later, he's.
Yeah, this person could have been going up and down the whole West Coast, just doing
maybe
this.
about 40 something now.
They may even figure out there's 40 other attacks. And so Salem, Oregon, 2021, a couple are attacked by a masked intruder while they're asleep. They're attacked with a knife. One of the people died, and that person is still out there. That's unsolved as well. The police currently believe that all of these, the two stabbings and the dog, are unrelated.
Oh yeah, sure.
I mean, I think at least the dog. You would want to keep that one in mind, as being possibly related,
unless you absolutely know who did it, and know that person.
And hopefully they've been shot.
Yeah, or is in jail, fucking getting shot. How the fuck do you? Oh man.
Yeah.
That's some psychotic shit. That needs to be the episode. Who the fuck is out there skinning a fucking German? What kind of dog?
Australian Shepherd.
Oh, an Australian Shepherd. I don't skin any dogs.
Yeah, and that's what we need to become a task force to go and find people that do that.
Yeah, and shoot them.
We make them disappear. So here's some really crazy shit though.
Okay.
At around 3 a.m., which is possibly around the time the murders are happening, because they think 3 a.m. to 5 p.m. They don't, or 5 a.m. They're not sure yet.
I mean, shoot, they were just calling the boyfriend 2:50.
Yeah. So
it's going to take you at least.
You're thinking probably.
I don't know what person just be all right, well, good night, snore.
I do know some people that can do
that.
Yeah. And I hate them because I can't. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if that would be me, it would take at least 20 minutes from that point to be able to just.
Oh, I know a lot of people that can just be and I'm asleep.
Yeah.
And they're out.
They must be the non-inner monologue people.
Maybe. Lucky bastards.
Oh, I feel like that's when the spotlight really shines on my inner monologue.
Oh,
that's you trying to get to sleep?
Yeah, that's when mine comes out with a cane.
What about in 7th grade?
That's when mine comes out twirling a cane, showing off its legs.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da.
Just kicking you in the face every other fucking pow. Yeah, but sorry, 3 a.m.
I wonder if there's a procedure we can have done where our inner monologue's pulled.
Wow.
So, at 3 a.m., just a couple 100 feet away, there's this, right across the street, there's a big field.
Uh-huh.
And the police are there, right there in that field. So they
at 3 a.m. across the street.
So body cam footage shows them talking to there's a group of 3 guys out in the field. And then over on the street, they're talking to this kid who's got like a beer.
Uh-huh.
And, they're just like, hey, like, what are you doing? And he's like, I guess, again, Saturday night's college town.
Yeah.
There was like a football game earlier that night. So he's got a beer with him, and they're like, you can't be out here drinking or whatever. And he's like, I'm sorry. Like, he's like, I fucked up. He's like, I'll get home now. And then, they're just like, yeah, get home. So then, like, they yell for the other three, and they just turn and start walking. So they approach them, and they ask them, they're like, hey, why'd you guys keep going when we yelled for you? And the one guy replies, we thought you were like a fake person. And
I'm tripping pretty hard right now, bro.
And the cop's like, do you meet a lot of fake people out here? And he's like, I just thought you were like some dude fucking with us.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay. And he's like, so what are you guys doing out here? He's like, we're just hanging. And he's like, well,
hanging out in the field, bro.
He's like, get home, go home.
Yawn now, get.
But so they I doubt they had anything to do with any of this.
Yeah.
But what's really crazy is, so not only is like that whole area, like the whole street surrounding where these murders happened, it's busy as fuck.
I was gonna say, it sounds like
there's people everywhere. There's people like, this is a busy area, even at 3 a.m. When the cops turn to go back towards their car, on the body cam footage, just right in the footage is the house where the murders are happening. So like, there's a possibility the cops were right there looking at the house as the killer is in there murdering people.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So as of now, there's no DNA evidence at all that's at least been released by the police or entered into any kind of database. We did a similar story a while back about Danny Rawlings. He was the one that ended up being deemed the Scream killer because the news footage inspired the dude to make the Scream movie. This is kind of like, that dude just decided to start killing college kids, if you remember the story at all. Like, he didn't really have any reason. He didn't have, like, really... He was just kind of like a...
No personal motive.
He had no personal motive.
Yeah.
He was just kind of a dude that, like, didn't have anything.
That's the scariest shit right there.
And he started killing. So this kind of has, like, similar...
Yeah, vibes. I'm vibing.
Police are currently seeking information related to a 2011 to 2013 Hyundai Elantra with an unknown license plate. They want to talk to the occupants of the vehicle because of some tips that they've got about that vehicle being right there in that area.
Yeah.
They did the other day collect 8 hours of surveillance video from a gas station where the car passed by. So apparently this, like, the owner of the gas station, they kind of just are playing like junior detective here. And they've been going through like every piece of the footage, like throughout the night. Like, they watch in live time.
Yeah.
Looking for this car, for anything. So they find the car passing by the gas station at 3:45 a.m. on the night of the murders.
Oh.
So they go in at 3:15, murder, run back out. They're in their car by 3:30, and then passing by this gas station a few minutes later. Maybe. Or this is nothing. And like with the knives are typically used for like personal reasons.
Yeah.
It's like a very personal, but like we talked about in the Scream Killer case, not always. It's just knives are handy weapons.
Yeah.
Sometimes
there's always an exception to the rule.
So yeah, could be a random attack, could be a serial killer out there.
It was that's almost League Night territory. There's 4 bodies instead of 3.
It's getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's a 4 for you?
Some people they call that like turkey with gravy, or that's the mashed potatoes when you get a 4 strike.
So you gotta go like gobble gobble gobble, mashed potatoes.
Yummy.
So I don't know. Like, as we get more information, anything happens, we'll kind of keep.
Let me know.
Every episode we'll kind of update a little bit and see if. Hopefully they figure something out. Like, if it's a serial killer, like, I mean, this guy could have been killing people for years.
Yeah.
Like the 99 one and
23 years ago. I feel like, yeah, that guy could.
And, there could be shit that happened in California and Nevada and just all in that area right there. Washington. And this guy's just kind of been making his rounds, going from place to place.
I've seen Dexter.
Yeah.
I've watched it all.
We've watched TV and movies.
I read the book. Not to brag.
All right, let's take a break.
All right.
And then we'll come back, and we got 5 unsolved mysteries that we're going to see if Joel can solve.
I like it.
Hey everyone, Aaron here from Monsters Horde, records, toys, and more, located at 313 Putnam Street, lower level in gorgeous downtown Marietta, where every day we are buying, selling, trading, and consigning new and used vinyl, vintage and retro toys and games, and lots more. If you haven't been in the store yet, come and check us out. We have thousands of records, a $5 and less bargain room, arcades that you can play for free, and tons more. Monsters Horde, records, toys, and more. Located in downtown Marietta.
And we are back. So we got 5 mysteries, Joel.
Okay.
And, what we do on this podcast is we solve mysteries.
We do. We're known for it.
We're known for it. World famous mystery solvers here. For some reason, the cops will not accept our phone calls,
Nope.
though. They will not take our leads. I don't know why. We've proven ourselves time and time again.
Well, this is all the effort I'm willing to give.
You're right. But this isn't enough.
I have these words, and someone else
enough.
someone needs to take the words and do things.
So these are 5 from random times throughout time.
Okay.
Would be the word.
Random times and time. Time.
These all remain unsolved.
Okay.
So.
And I'm Robert Stack.
They all have some weird elements to them. So let's get into the first one.
Can you play some unsolved mystery music?
Do you have the money to pay for the lawsuit?
No.
Okay, then. All right. First story we're going to talk about is a 38-year-old guy named Jonathan Luna. He was a family man. Seemed to have, his whole life in order. He was a pretty successful prosecutor. He grew up poor, became, really good at what he did, made a pretty good life for himself. Started at the bottom, now he's here.
Yep.
By all accounts, he was at the height of his professional and personal life. Like, things were fucking good for this guy.
Good job, Johnny.
Then, on December 3rd, 2003, he left a courthouse in Baltimore, and instead of heading home, went on a strange multi-state trip into the middle of the night. He left the courthouse at 11:30 p.m.
Why was he leaving the courthouse?
11:30 p.m. Long hours.
So he worked at the courthouse.
Yeah, he's a prosecutor.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, so he's he's.
Did you say that? Did I miss that? Yeah, I totally missed that.
Prosecutor.
Okay.
So yeah, he's putting in some time. He's trying to work a case, like we do.
Yeah.
He leaves the courthouse 11:30 p.m. on December 3rd, 2003. He drives over 4 hours to Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. Next morning,
to see the Amish.
He was found drowned in a shallow creek.
Ooh.
With his court ID still around his neck. Originally, it's thought of as a, dude just has a shitty day. Yeah. Maybe things aren't as good as people think. And he just kind of drove somewhere in the middle of the night to kill himself.
He's going to meet somebody.
But to drown yourself in like a creek, that is...
I don't think you could do that.
I mean, your body, I think, would be like, hey, we're not fucking doing this.
Yeah.
So,
I think he was going to meet somebody.
So he didn't...
A lady.
He didn't tell anyone about his trip. He didn't drive straight to Lancaster County. Instead, he went north and then kind of just zigzagged around places. He made a bunch of varindom little small amounts of withdrawals for cash.
Yeah.
Just took a little bit here and there. He paid the various road tolls in multiple ways. He had an Easy Pass with him that he could have easily used.
Yeah.
Because it's called an Easy Pass.
It's a fucking Easy Pass.
But instead, he just random ways. And then there was apparently an injury of some sort because the final...
I wonder if he was trying not to be tracked the times he was.
Seems like he was trying to cover up tracks some way or just make things very confusing.
Yeah.
The final toll ticket from one of the tolls had blood on it. So there was blood already at this point. So his car was found by the creek bank, still running. The cause of death was ruled as drowning. But he'd been stabbed 36 times.
Oh, wow.
With a little penknife that he kept with him. And
maybe the fish did it.
He also had pretty bad head trauma. So...
But drowning.
But, so maybe the water is what killed him.
Yeah.
But,
There's reasons why he couldn't really get up, it sounds like.
So originally the police think, this guy is a lawyer. He's a prosecutor. So he's made some enemies.
Who hasn't made enemies?
We've all got enemies out there.
So, yeah, lawyer.
We need more, I think.
I'm not a big
Just
fan.
to make things interesting.
More lawyers?
No, more podcast enemies.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, we need, like, beef with somebody. Because we are, the beef inspectors.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, I never got my name from Slim Jim.
What was mine?
You were...
the Twitter Slim Jim one.
Yeah, what was yours?
I can't... Something beef.
Yeah. No, it was meat, right?
Was it meat?
I don't know. You find that.
All right, you keep talking.
Look it up, Jamie. So, yeah, they think maybe, like, somebody has a grudge.
Brave meat.
Brave meat. Yes.
Does anyone want to brave my meat?
Oh. So they think, somebody that he's put away...
Sure.
Or involved in somebody he's put away has a grudge against them that they...
Again, though, 37 stabs with the penknife. Does it... to me, if it's something like that with laws and liar, and it'd be just boom, shoot him.
Yeah. You're
it's
probably not gonna, like...
drive fucking all over
plus
the fucking
penknife,
place.
That just sounds kind of, like, annoying.
Yeah.
Like the penknife thing. Like, I'm sure it kind of hurts depending on where they stab you at.
Yeah.
But it just seems more of, like, just fucking
like, after about after, like, 5 or 6, like, okay, I get it.
God damn it.
You want me dead? Will you just, like, either do it or don't?
Don't.
Fuck.
The police, though, through the investigation, they uncover that he was, unbeknownst to his family, pretty heavy in debt. And then he also had profiles on multiple internet dating sites. So,
see, I'll let you finish.
Also,
I got a theory cooking.
Throughout the night, at the places where he's stopping to take small cash withdrawals and, like, the toll roads and stuff, no one ever actually saw him during the trip. So the gas station attendant that he bought gas and beverages from didn't see anyone else in his car, and said that, hey, he acted completely normal. But it's also possible that that the gas station attendant didn't see him, that they saw whoever was doing this to him.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, don't they have fucking cameras?
If they worked.
Oh, wait, this was in 2000.
I mean, even then, who knows if it was working?
Yeah.
A lot of places have cameras that quit working 5 years ago, and they're just like, we'll just leave it up there.
Yeah,
people think
they won't shut. They're only worried
Joel thinks it's working. So.
They're only worried about shoplifting. Cameras, here's what you might not know.
Okay.
Cameras steal your soul. So I
have heard tell.
So I try to avoid them in stores.
I got you on camera today.
I know.
Your soul is mine.
Oh.
Hey, Satan, if you're listening, got a soul for you. I'll make you a pretty sweet deal on
Satan's like, no thanks.
Oh, come on, Satan, I'll throw mine in too. You can have mine. Why would you not sell your soul?
Yeah.
First of all, souls aren't real. So there's that. There's that. But yeah, if Satan...
Simpsons did it.
If Satan offered me, like, whatever you... Yeah, sure, whatever. Yeah. Like, I can have... You seem to, like, value this thing a lot more than I do. So, I want...
Yeah, give me at least, like, $10.
6 Vaders.
6 Vaders, wow, yeah. Right now, I got 2. I got a third one coming. So...
You cannot have mine.
I'm buying it.
I ended this.
Okay.
Which, yeah, if you don't... Did we talk about that already?
No.
So...
We talked about Christmas.
If you've listened to this podcast, over the duration of the podcast... you have heard Joel many, many, many times.
Once or twice.
Reference the Vader figure I have.
Who?
The wrestling figure, Vader.
Leon White?
And, you guys have heard the multiple times he's asked on the podcast. I, however, have heard...
We have a bet going right now for
requests for this Vader tons of times off of the air. We currently have a bet.
About every time we text, I tell you
there's a lot of times. We currently have a bet where the Cleveland Browns have to win 9 games, and at this point in the season, unless they win the rest of their games, that bet is not going to go in Joel's favor.
They've won 5 games and they have 4 left.
I don't see them winning all 4.
I don't either.
So
they play today.
They play today, right?
Against the Ravens.
I think all of their quarterbacks are hurt though.
Yeah.
Or is Deshaun?
I think Huntley's. Yeah, he's playing. He's been cleared.
Anyways, so Joel got his Vader. I got Joel a Vader for Christmas.
I'm a good boy.
So now Joel has his very own.
He had me gifts and stuff here.
And he needs to stop asking for mine. And stop threatening me.
But like I said, doubles is better.
You're never happy. You're just never happy.
You got 2 Bam Bams.
So, this is what we know about the story here.
Yeah.
So what do you think? What's your theory here?
I think he was going to meet a lady.
Okay.
And that's the only reason he would drive all the fuck way over. It was some sort of lady man team. I think they were like, meet me here, meet me here, meet me here, bring this money, bring this money. And then when he finally met him there, they just got him as soon as he got there. And
okay,
he probably held her. She stabbed him.
Let me give you a few more details.
Okay.
And see if this reinforces your theory or changes it all. So, at first, the coroner and the cops, they think the penknife wounds are like hesitation wounds.
Yeah.
Like people try to stab themselves to make it look like.
That's a lot of fucking hesitation wounds.
Well, like these were apparently, the coroner described these as some of the worst wounds they've ever seen.
Oh, wow.
So you don't do that to yourself.
No.
I mean, you could, but if you're hesitating, you're not going to like multiple times do that. So not only that, but his hands were shredded from the cuts.
Trying to block it.
His scrotum was cut.
Oh yeah.
Throat was slit, and there were stab wounds in the back. So I would say not suicide.
No, I would rule that out.
He also had left his cell phone and glasses on his desk at work. He needed the glasses to drive. So, he wears them for a reason. There was also a pool of blood in the backseat of his car. So, sounds like...
Or maybe someone got him at the office, and they were still in his car, and like you said, they just drove all over trying to figure out what to do with them. And then finally, settled on that spot.
Yeah.
But how'd they leave if his car was left there running?
Well, maybe somebody was meeting them.
Meeting them there, following
somebody
them
grabbed
there.
him, took him, and maybe, I'm assuming if he's attacked in his office, that's the only reason he'd leave his wallet and keys. Or his phone and glasses. I completely messed up what he left. His phone and glasses.
You were pretty close.
I'm assuming somebody came into his office, threatened him,
I can't believe that hasn't been solved.
And then brings him out of the office, gets him in his car, stabs him a few times to weaken him, or just at least whatever, he lays in the back and bleeds. And then they go meet somebody.
Get him out, put him in the little creek.
Maybe he, if he's on multiple dating sites, maybe he fucked around with the wrong guy's girl,
Yeah.
Or there was just some crazy fucker.
He got stabbed in the dick, man.
That makes me think it was a woman.
Yeah. That's why, I can see like a man maybe trying to hold him back, and this woman just fucking...
Yeah.
Or somebody else.
So your theory still, I think, holds pretty strong. Yeah. So I think he maybe... Because, there's been a lot of cases of...
Call the cops.
People using the dating sites to lure victims.
And, I mean, you'll drive some places for some ladies. I don't want to be a creep.
Back in my younger years.
Yeah. You're like, want me to go here? I'm here.
Back in my younger years.
You want me over here? I'm over there.
I did make some voyages.
Yeah.
Yeah. So... back when I
try to anticipate what they might want next. You're like, well, I'm already here.
I can't believe I never got murdered. Like, there was a lot of traveling and random things. So, now knowing what I know, I'm like, fuck that. If I don't, see your, ID, I need to see your ID. I need you, to go stand underneath, the street light so I can see that you are alone. Yeah.
Turn around. Turn your pockets inside out. Let me see them.
I need to see a lot of things. So, that's the first case. We're saying...
Two people involved, yeah. Someone he knows or at least met online.
Yeah,
That's so weird why they wouldn't be able to... I mean, what you said was 2000s at least.
2000.
So I would think at that point they'd be able to, see text and messages on these things.
Well, and to like leave your
Glasses,
the glasses and phone, somebody has to be in the office making you leave, right?
Yeah.
Because even if they called you and said like,
"Come here," you'd be like, "Get my glasses."
Even if they said, "Don't bring your glasses," and you're still like, "Fuck you!" Like
that's like maybe
not right here in
put
front
his
of me.
glasses down with somewhere else around the building, and they were like, "Come on, we're leaving now."
So in 2007, February, a private investigator and an attorney that were hired by Luna's family filed a petition for a writ of mandamus, which is some specific act, which is a judicial remedy in the form of an order from a court to any government, subordinate court, corporation, or public authority to do some specific act which that body is obliged under law to do, which is in the nature of public duty. So they forced Lancaster County Coroner to conduct an inquest into Luna's death after an earlier request was declined. So they're going with like suicide theory.
What?
I'm assuming that's what happened. The original reported that Luna did not have the expected substantial defense wounds on his hands, that many of the wounds are shallow, which are called hesitation wounds. Some suggested motives for suicide were that Luna was to take a polygraph test concerning $36,000, which disappeared from a bank robbery case that he prosecuted. He had a charge card, which his wife Angela did not know about. His name was on an internet dating site, and he had $25,000 credit card debt. There's also an accidental suicide theory that Luna was fabricating a kidnapping and attack, and then he went too far. I
still don't understand how you can stab yourself in the back.
Yeah, it sounds like it's bullshit.
And stab yourself 36 fucking times, or 30-some times.
He also, the night of the murder, or whatever the fuck happened, he had called a couple defense attorneys earlier in that night saying he would fax them over documents later that night, but those never showed up. So, like, it sounds like he was interrupted.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't just leave because he was done for the night.
Yeah.
In February of 2020, the LNP newspaper, which is, I'm assuming, a newspaper out of Lancaster, requested that a judge unseal coroner's records pertaining to Luna's death that were found to be in possession of the county instead of federal prosecutors. January 13th, 2021, Judge David Ashworth ruled that the documents remain sealed, writing that releasing the records would pose a threat of substantially hindering or jeopardizing the open, active, and ongoing criminal investigation. So it is still being investigated.
Yeah.
But to think that's a suicide, it's a crazy fucking suicide.
Yeah. I mean, is it though? It's been fucking 2007. They were trying to get this shit to be looked into, and I mean, it's been fucking 14, 15 years, almost 16 years since then. Let's go.
Let's do something. So I would assume there has to be like cameras
at the gas station,
footage somewhere. The toll roads.
If he was stopping at ATMs and stuff, ATMs have cameras.
So next story. Throw me out. So if I wanted, who do you think right now currently is like the best athlete in sports, like of all sports?
The best athlete,
like the best athlete
in sports. Let's just say LeBron James.
LeBron James. So
I could think all day about athletic sportsmen. So let me tell you.
Imagine if LeBron James was found on the side of a just back road, skull bashed in.
Oh, Jesus, not LeBron.
And zero clues as to how it happened. Probably a pretty big media story, right?
I think it would make a couple papers.
Probably the biggest media story ever. So, but take that same scenario, and then imagine that the cops just kind of shrug and walk off, and nobody ever hears about it again. So, in 1924 in Italy, that basically happened. There was a dude there named Ottavio Bottecchia.
Was he a tennis player?
He was a Tour de France winner.
A cyclist.
He was a world-famous cyclist. He was found dead near his hometown of Penis.
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 Peonis.
He's a penis head.
Peonis.
Okay.
He was found there, crumpled on the side of the road. His skull caved in, and quite a few of his bones were broken. He never regained any kind of consciousness, and he died 12 days after he was found.
Oh, so he's riding his bike. Do they have cars in? I say he was hit by a car.
So his bicycle laid nearby.
He was riding his bike
without a scratch on one of those, so he hadn't crashed. It was fine. There were no skid marks, so a car hadn't hit him.
In 1924, how fast could cars be going?
Yeah, I mean, probably 40,
I feel like it's like
30, 40.
that thing where they kind of jump up and down. The old video of them going.
Trying to think of the music I'll be playing.
Some guy's trying to hold on to his little hat, hanging off the side.
So, not only was this guy a world famous cyclist, so you would have thought there'd be a shitload of attention on this thing. He was also a World War One hero.
The original.
I thought you were saying everything.
Hero.
So he's a hero. He's a war hero. He's a Tour de France winner.
Tour de France.
He's a world famous cyclist. This dude, but no one gave a shit about this. The cops just kind of shrugged their shoulders.
Maybe it was suicide.
The media didn't really cover it. They did it first, but it was all tabloid stuff.
Yeah.
However, at the time is when you ever heard of old Mussolini?
He's in that CM Punk song.
He is.
So
he was
Mussolini.
He was a fascist fucking prick.
He looked good. Fashion.
Yes, fashion.
Ooh.
Fashionista.
Oh, okay.
He was a fascist prick. I'm sure he'd be one of Donald Trump's heroes. He probably is.
Yeah.
Trump loves Hitler.
Loves him huge.
Allegedly.
Him and Kanye have that. And Kanye have that in common.
His favorite book is Mein Kampf, Hitler's book. Anyways, so this dude that gets killed though, what's his name again? Ottavio. He was very outspoken about Mussolini and Mussolini's bullshit.
Okay. Say less. Say less.
So, what's your theory?
Fucking Mussolini killed him.
Had him killed?
Yeah.
Because he's not going to do it himself.
Probably had something where had him stop on the side of the road. He stopped, put his bike down, came to look at something, inspect something, and then just pow!
So, probably not a random happening, right?
Nah.
So, maybe it was, though. Because a few years later, on his deathbed, a farmer... just some random fucking farmer.
Hates bicycles?
Confessed to killing him.
Oh.
His confession stated that he basically was walking out to where his, things are that he grows, plants and things.
Crafts.
And he sees this
What
dude.
the fuck did I just say? My brain. Crops. Crops. Jesus Christ.
Crepes. His crepes.
Jesus crops.
He sees this dude taking grapes off of his, grape.
Oh, yeah.
Grapes are growing.
Oh, it's off the vine. Off the vineyard.
Jesus Christ. We don't know anything.
I know some stuff. Grapes become raisins.
He catches this guy and isn't happy about somebody stealing his shit.
Maybe he's been having a bad day, When you had a bad day,
that's what he said.
They're eating all your grapes.
He said he wasn't having a great day. He catches this dude stealing his shit, and he throws a rock at him.
Oh.
And accidentally throws it a bit too hard.
Yeah.
And fucks this guy's head up.
That's why you don't throw rocks. You just never know what could happen.
Then he kind of panicked, drugged the body to the side of the road, and then never talked about it again until his deathbed. On his deathbed. So that may be what happened to him.
I can see that then.
So just some random shit.
Sure. Why would he lie about it?
Weird thing to lie about.
Yeah. He's like, before I die, I want people to think that I was a fucking killer.
Son, I know.
Yeah.
I know my whole life. You ever thought I was a great man. But, son, it was me, a Mario. When he died.
That's so offensive.
Is it? Chris Pratt gets away with it.
Oh, okay. Maybe it is. I don't know.
I don't know anymore.
I don't know.
All right, so we're thinking, I still think maybe, it's just weird that the cops were just kind of fuck them.
Well, whatever, yeah.
At least cops.
I mean, to their credit, they've never seen Dexter.
Right.
So how do you even know how to police?
True.
If you've never seen an episode of Dexter.
You're right. You're not wrong.
So I'm basically a detective just because I've seen Dexter.
All right. So now we're going to talk about a dude named Joseph Bone Elwell. We're just going to call him Joey L.
Joe B.
Joey B. So he's like this happens in 1920, June 11th, 1920, and he is a man about town. Right? Like he's a playboy, pretty well off, kind of a prick.
He had $1,200
back in 1920. He's kind of a prick though.
Sure. Money went to his head.
He is found on June 11th, 1920, 8 a.m. He's found sitting in his living room by his housekeeper, dead. There is a open letter on his lap and a pile of unopened mail beside him. The mail had just been delivered about an hour before that, so he had just got the mail around 7 a.m.
Early-ass mail.
Yeah. And then he was killed sometime between probably 7 a.m. and 8 a.m. So there's also a bullet hole in his forehead, and the most badass thing I have ever read, and this needs to be in a movie, the bullet that was used to kill him was placed right there beside him on a nearby table.
Oh.
So nothing had been stolen.
So they shot him, got the bullet out of his head.
That's fucking...
Wow.
That is a badass move.
That sounds a little personal.
A little bit. Kind
of.
So the house is filled with, like, cash, valuables. Like, this dude has money. He has a housekeeper, for God's sake.
Yeah.
None of that was missing. Nothing's been taken. The guy even owned a Rembrandt painting. And that was left alone. So no one had been seen entering or leaving the house. The fact that he'd been killed wasn't really a surprise to people that knew him back then. He is wealthy. He was also an asshole.
Yeah.
He was a very successful card player. That's kind of how he made his money. He also fucked a bunch of people's wives. He had a notebook with names and numbers of around 50 women, married and unmarried, that he had been with.
Yeah.
He just kept track.
Like ranked them? Like with numbers?
Probably ranked them. I don't know.
Did they have phone numbers back then?
It drew little, like, cartoons of what they did together. I don't know what.
Hell yeah. Motherfuckers inventing positions.
Like Dennis's erotic tales or whatever it was called. So, yeah, he had...
They have a camera, but it's really hard to hide because how big they were back then.
Well, it's got one guy, and he's doing...
Yeah, like, what is that?
There's always the guy.
Don't worry about it, baby.
The police are like, should we ask the camera guy that filmed it? So, yeah, he had ruined a lot of relationships. He'd made a shitload of people jealous. He'd pissed off a lot of, husbands, fathers. Like, he'd pissed off a lot of people.
He kind of reminds me of Freddy Krueger. Except that guy, like, Freddy molested kids.
Diddled kids, though. So
yeah, but the whole town hated him.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of examples of that you could have used.
A little bit like Freddy Krueger.
Okay, sure. He also, being a dude that wins a lot of his money gambling.
Ooh, he's like a Freddy Krueger, Matt Damon, like, mashup. Yeah.
Okay, I'm on board now.
I like Rounders. That's a good movie.
So, yeah, he probably has pissed off some people that he took money from.
I'm pissed off at him. Fucking wives?
So, according to the New York Daily News, the police estimated roughly 1,000 potential suspects. He wasn't unaware of who he was. Like, the guy was, he kind of like another rags to riches story. Like, he's from the bottom, now he's here. He kind of grew up on the streets. That's kind of where he learned to probably hustle.
Yeah.
He was pretty he could fight. I mean, he could take care of himself. Like the guy
scrappy.
Yeah. He had also seemingly been caught unaware. Like he let the person in. They assumed because the locks hadn't been tampered with.
Yeah.
I mean, he's sitting there with his mail. So I'm assuming he just whoever did this was just he knew them.
Probably stood there talking to him. Shot him in the head.
The bullet, the kill shot had also come from slightly below his head, which would suggest that the shooter was just like casually sitting in a chair across from him, and kind of pulled a gun out,
or a kid,
or just a small person,
yeah.
So. Yeah, the case remains unsolved. It became the inspiration for a crime novel called The Benson Murder Case. There's a guy that people think that there's a writer out there that thought that the murder was either done by or ordered by this banker named Walter Levinson, whose wife was on Joey B's list. The housekeeper was also a bit of a suspect because they would have had access, but you got a theory on this one.
Why would the housekeeper kill him? They're out of a job. They didn't steal any money.
Good call.
Unless he's just a prick.
Good call. Yeah, unless he's just
quit your job. Dick. Why kill him? I don't have a theory on this one. I think it's personal. I think it's just someone that he pissed off. Sounds like there's a lot of people. Don't piss people off.
That is the easiest way.
Sure, he's rich and fucking all this and banging a bunch of married ladies, but look what happened to him in the end.
So that's,
none of those things. And I've never been shot in the head.
Not yet.
Nope.
Not yet. So,
get with me, though.
Next story. But, hey, you need to start a list.
Anything's possible. I can think of a couple people that might want to try it. Yeah. I dare you.
Okay. I mean, I assume there's some people out there that want to shoot me in the head.
Out there, in here, wherever. There are places.
I got you a Vader.
There are places.
So, next up.
Next
unsolved murder here is a dude named William Herbert Wallace. He was a insurance collections agent.
William Wallace?
William Wallace.
Wow.
Meat brave. Brave meat.
They'll never take my meat.
He's in Liverpool, England.
All right.
January 19th, 1931.
Okay.
So he heads out to a nearby cafe for a chess
Now, when
club.
they do the date, don't they do the year, month, and day?
So, 1931, January 19.
Okay.
He went to a scheduled chess club meeting.
Okay.
So this dude,
I like him.
You might like him. And he receives
I play chess.
A mysterious message once he gets there. There's a strange person that identifies himself only as R.M. Qualtrough, and they want to meet him the next day at Menlove Gardens.
Oh.
Wallace, though, senses
his chest senses are tingling.
Even though it is kind of sketchy that this is like a random dude that he doesn't know mysteriously inviting him, he thinks that possibly he could that this person's going to possibly maybe like pay him off because he's an insurance collections agent. So thinking maybe he can get something from this. So he goes ahead, jumps on the train the next day, and makes his way out to this random address that he's given. He gets there, though.
He's making it real easy for whoever's about to kill him.
He is.
He's like, hey, can you just come over here?
He gets there, and the area where the address should be, and that address isn't real. He kind of like wanders around that area for about 45 minutes. And
Keeps looking down at the paper. What?
And then he's out knocking on people's doors.
Yeah.
Then, 45 minutes, can't find it, so he heads home. He gets home, and all the doors are locked, and his wife is not answering. He finally gets the door open, and his wife is dead.
Oh.
She is murdered. That's his story. That's what he told the police. So,
because they think maybe he did it.
Right. So,
I was expecting him to die.
Now, once he got...
You M-nighted me.
The Qualtrough thing, like the Menlove Guardians and like all that stuff, that did apparently happen. Wallace made it a point to be visible, to ask directions from like a bunch of people that like would be... Their testimony would be reliable, including like a police officer.
Yeah.
So anybody he thought like people would take seriously, he like made sure.
Hey, I met this fellow chap out of chess thing.
Hello, Pip Cheerio.
Can you give me directions to what lane?
Hello, governor.
It doesn't exist. Crikey! Wait, that's Australian. That's offensive.
So yeah, like it seems like he wants to make sure there's a lot of people that see him.
Yeah.
Later on, neighbors found him in his backyard, like kind of pissed off and claiming that he just returned home to find all the doors locked. And then he tried the doors again, and all of a sudden they're not locked, and that's how he got back inside. And he finds his wife brutally beaten and dead. So there's like two different stories from him, kind of. The law enforcement, they arrested him. He received a death sentence after just an hour in court, but the Court of Criminal Appeals soon overturned it and freed him after pointing out that literally every piece of evidence was circumstantial.
Yeah.
And also that the cops had themselves proved that he didn't kill his wife because they vouched for him by seeing him at this place.
Yeah.
So
driving and whatnot.
Also, they say that Wallace, they pointed out that it was being ignored that he was a middle-aged guy. He's just one of us.
Look, I could murder somebody. Wait,
he had failing kidneys.
All right.
He's
found guilty of being middle-aged and mediocre.
So yeah, he gets set free. He ended up keeping his job. He died 2 years later from the kidney failure. And he was basically constantly threatened by the public.
Yeah.
Because they all just assumed
he had something to do with it. He probably did.
So basically, like, every piece of evidence could either prove him guilty or innocent. Like, so both stories
now he's dead, so
kind of makes sense.
Well, I mean, he died real soon after.
His wife was beat with a blunt instrument. He, 52 years old, dying of kidney failure. He could probably still...
Yeah.
Unless he was just so weak that he's Mr. Burns,
But if you have a blunt object, I mean, you're not having to swing that very hard.
But he didn't have any blood on him at all. Like, he didn't...
Oh, yeah. And the neighbors found him outside, and they probably saw him go inside, and... I'm sure he had... I don't know. That's a tough one.
Yeah, so...
You stumped me.
He, let me see if there's been an update on him.
He dead.
See if they ever...
He died 2 years later.
He died 2 years later, but I wonder if they ever, went back and investigated anything more. Or if they were just like, well, pip pip cheerio.
Like, that was 1930.
I mean, he is a little scrawny guy, now that I'm seeing a picture of him.
Yeah. You think I could take him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you could beat the shit out of this guy.
Oh.
Now, especially.
Oh, yeah. Now he's dead for 90 years. 20.
You got this one. So, yeah.
I don't want to disappoint you.
All right, last story. I'm sure you've heard of this one. This takes place in over a 10-week period in 1946 in Texarkana.
Where's Texarkana?
Texarkana is in Arkansas.
Okay.
I believe. So, yeah. You've probably heard of this one. There's a movie. 2 movies made out of it. A mysterious unknown maniac attacked 3 young couples at different lovers' lanes that were local, and a middle-aged married couple in their own home. 5 of the victims were killed, and 3 barely escaped with their lives. The first attack came on February 22nd when the killer ambushed Jimmy Hollis, age 25, and Mary Jean Larry, 19, in their car.
25 and 19?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, pal.
The killer pointed a flashlight at their faces, ordered Jimmy out of the car, told him to take his pants off, and then he proceeded to beat and stomp him so badly that he would spend days in a coma.
Damn.
Mary Jean, she was ordered to run. The attacker chased her down, beat her, assaulted her with the barrel of a gun. She managed to escape, ended up pleading for help at the door of a house a half a mile away. So she lived, and Jimmy, was in a coma for a while.
Yeah. Is this Valentine's Day?
February 22nd.
No, is that the name of the movie?
No, Town That Dreaded Sundown.
Oh, okay.
A few weeks after the first attack, another young couple were...
Oh, I see that movie streaming.
And then they did a remake.
Okay.
And then the remake uses, like, the original movie as, like, it's still, like, a tradition in that town to watch it at a drive-in.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, they kind of use the first movie to play off into the second one.
Okay.
They're both pretty good, though. So a few weeks later, another young couple are attacked in their car. This time, the sequence of events are not really known because the person shot both victims execution style. Another couple of weeks go by.
Ramping up is what they call that.
Yeah, he's done with this fucking around thing.
Yeah.
Another couple of weeks go by, and 2 more kids are found dead. They made it out of the car, or were forced to exit the car. They had put up a bit of a struggle, but they were both shot multiple times. The final victims were the middle-aged married couple, Virgil and Katie Starks. The killer changed up his MO pretty drastically. He didn't even really approach them. He just shot them through their window and killed them. So they're just chilling,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, 2 shots. They're
Maybe
dead.
he just saw them in the car, assumed they were younger, saw who.
No,
it
they were
was.
at their house.
Oh, they were at their house.
So he's just passing by the house, sees the window there, sees them inside.
He just hates love.
And he's just and bang bang.
Yeah.
So Katie Starks, though, she got shot in the head twice, but she didn't die. So she tries to escape. The killer chases her around the farmhouse. She ends up getting out of the house, makes it to the neighbor's house, and collapses. A trail of blood and pieces of teeth.
Oh my god!
Made the trail, that way, So the entire time, the Texarkana, they're flipping the fuck out. 47 police officers worked around the clock on the case, with little to go by. They're thinking that this guy, like you said, hates love. There was just mobs of people, just every night.
What do they call that? Incel, or someone who's
Oh yeah, incel. Yeah, this guy's one of the original incels.
What year was it?
1946.
Okay.
Yeah,
so I'm cleared.
The town people are just in roving mobs, just looking for anybody. A bunch of teenagers started trying to set traps, use themselves as bait, and started trying to trap the guy. A lot of people.
I don't know, Betty. I think if you were sucking my dick, it would definitely draw him in a little bit faster. Because then I could be "Oh, Betty, it feels so good when you suck my dick." I mean, Sarah, if you want to try it too, then I could be "Oh, Sarah, Betty, you're both sucking my dick."
Hopefully nobody's out there wanting to kill us right now while you're sucking my dick.
What a way to go! So that was
totally worth it.
That was a reenactment of the teenager's help.
The guy gets shot. His dying words are worth it.
Worth it.
The killer just shakes his head. People in the town were home aloneing their houses.
Oh.
They were just making booby traps and shit.
Oh, I was imagining the scene with the fake dance party.
No, they're hanging paint cans and things, putting Matchbox cars out.
Yeah. Broken ornaments.
The town made
inside
curfews.
The window.
Lock salesmen made a fortune. And then they ended up making the Town That Dreaded Sundown. I think it came out in the 70s. And then the remake came out last, I don't know, 8-10 years ago.
Yeah.
Some survivors describe the killer as a large man wearing a white, kind of like Jason in part 2, or when he has just the burlap sack on.
Yeah, that's part 2. Probably. I don't know.
So yeah, that kind of really led to this making a great horror movie because the dude's wearing a fucking horror.
He just stopped after that.
And then
So what if it was a guy who girlfriend broke up with him? This fucking fucker couldn't handle it. So he killed some couples, but then she's I think I will take you back. And now he's like...
he was like, oh, okay, well...
Yeah, I'm not going to kill anybody anymore.
Well, a lot of the focus went on a guy named Yul Swinney. He was a local petty criminal. He'd went to prison for Grand Theft Auto around the time the killing stopped. That seems, though, like, if you're just a petty criminal, like, I'm doubting you're probably not out there murdering people.
Yeah,
like,
and then not robbing them. Maybe, like, the people at the house were shot, and then, like, all their shit was gone.
Then you'd be taking some shit, yeah.
I think it's just someone who just can't stand couples.
Well, now, on November 5th, 1948, an 18-year-old named, his last name was Tennyson. The only name I can find, his nickname was Doody.
Doody.
Doodie.
Cool.
So, he was found dead in his bedroom. And in his room was a poisoned ballpoint pen, which I don't know what that means.
So they would like do that thing where they like stick the pin in their tongue before they write?
I guess, yeah.
What
maybe
the fuck?
Inside of the pen, there was a note, and it said, "The opening to my box will be found in the following few lines. In a tube of paper is found, rolls on collars, and it is dry and sound. The head removes, the tail will turn, and inside is the sheet you yearn. 2 B's mean a lot when they are together. Those clues should lead you to it."
That's a lot of fucking writing to try to put inside a pen.
The cops found the box that this note alluded to. They forced it open. Inside they found a confession of the second and third attacks. Straight down to how the guns were dismantled and used, how he dismantled the guns that he used and hid the parts. So they think that this 18-year-old kid was the killer.
Yeah.
Because he's confessed to it and, like, has details that weren't known. So he was never a suspect before his death. And kind of seems like he was probably like you said, he sounds like the fucking first incel.
Yeah.
So yeah, check out the movies. They're both, like, there's a scene in the first one where, like, they have to go, like, all campy horror with it. Yeah. So, like, the killer has a trombone because he kills one of the girls, like, I think is in the band and plays the trombone. So he kills her by taping a knife.
Band kids are such badasses, though.
They are, according to Jason.
Halloween
dies. Or
Halloween, whatever, which one we're up to.
The last one.
The newest one.
But yeah, in the movie, he tapes a knife to the end of the trombone and then plays it and keeps stabbing her as,
That's fun.
I don't think that happened.
Like, if that happened to me, I'm like, I can't believe he did that.
You're so creative, Doody.
I wish I could tell somebody.
So yeah, I don't know. I think we solved a couple murders there.
Yeah. Made the world a better place.
Yeah. But thanks for listening.
Yeah. Thanks for my Christmas stuff.
You had an open mic last night?
Had an open mic last night.
You got anything coming up?
Just that show January 14th at Gators in Marietta. Okay. That's coming up.
2 weeks in a row now the Gators have got a shout out on our podcast.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of
Gators going to start paying us money.
They should. The old Gators. You know about their ceiling? Mm-mm. It's made out of reptiles.
I think that's all the time we have this week. Goodbye.